Hi guys, it's Michaela with Your Everyday Woman. And I know we're a little bit late to the game on this, but today I will be going over my first trimester of this pregnancy, kind of an in review thing. So let's just go ahead and start with the part where I found out that I was pregnant. I found out at 3 weeks and 3 days. I took a first response early result pregnancy test. I took the initial one that was supposed to be 6 days before your missed period, which I couldn't tell if that was a positive or a negative. We were getting ready to go on a trip that weekend, so I decided, I'm like, you know what, before I push myself or do anything that may not be wise to do while you're pregnant, I'm just going to take this digital test, which was the second test, which I think you take like 3 days before your missed period. My period was due like that weekend. I almost didn't take it because I didn't think I was pregnant, but I'm glad I did. So we were so shocked and so surprised when we got a result on that pregnancy test. Yes, we were trying at the time to get pregnant. However, we just didn't think that that was the time we were gonna end up getting a positive result. It only took about, I want to say 2 to 3 months of trying. We started trying, I think at the end of July of 2019 is when I got off of birth control. And then, so from there we found out we were pregnant like the second or third week in October of 2019. So, I mean, we probably conceived at the end of September, first week of October. So, yeah, I want to say 2 to 3 months, depending on how you want to count out your cycles, or, you know, how, you know, for me, I had 2 periods. On the third time around was a missed period, so I say 3 months, but again, just kind of depends on how you're counting that. As far as announcing it goes, we announced it right away. Announced it to my parents for my mom's birthday. Her birthday is October 11th, so that would be the weekend we found out. So what we did was we got her a little necklace that had both of the girls' birthstones on it, and then a third one for June, which announced the arrival of the baby. My mom figured it out right away. I wanted to wait a little bit longer to kind of share the news, just because it takes me a while to kind of wrap my head around things, and I'm like, no, let's wait, you know, for the first OB appointment. But once my parents found out, and then Marty was just couldn't hold the news in, we just decided to announce it early, and we made an official Facebook announcement we did a fall little announcement, so we had like 5 pumpkins, 1 for each of us, and then the 5th one was a baby. So we announced it about a week before Halloween, or like the week of Halloween. And from there, we just that weekend I ended up doing a announcement here on YouTube. And so by the time we were 5 weeks along, everyone knew we were pregnant. So we were just excited. We just honestly couldn't hold it in any longer. So some of my symptoms in my first trimester, my morning sickness lasted from about 6 weeks to about the 10 to 12 week mark. 10 weeks was when things started trailing off, but by the time I had officially hit my second trimester, my symptoms were gone completely. Unfortunately, not much helped in terms of dealing with morning sickness. I got the Prego Pops, those didn't work. I don't like the taste of ginger. It honestly just made me more nauseous. Basically, I got through it by eating like saltines and ginger ale, lots of water, and just munching. And it was weird because it's like I would want to eat one thing, and then I would eat that one thing, and then the next time I, you know, thought I could eat it, I'm getting nauseous and just not wanting it anymore. So that's kind of how that whole went. And so we just basically just kind of had to go through things. But snacking is what worked more than anything. Lots of water. I was tired a lot, which makes a lot of sense. You know, your body's doing a whole lot and your body's still trying to figure out what the heck's going on, because your body's not used to being pregnant by this point. So I did end up needing like middle of the day naps, because that's when like the morning sickness kicked in the hardest. That's when I was just exhausted. So from like 12 to 2, I just needed to nap every day. My boobs, they hurt. They weren't like, I feel like I'm in more pain now that I'm in my 3rd trimester than I was in my 1st, but you know, I had the typical tenderness. I was emotional, all of the usual just kind of symptoms as far as that goes. Nothing crazy out there. I felt like maybe as far as like symptoms go, they weren't as bad as they could be, but just trying to get through that hurdle of that 1st trimester was just not fun. So speaking of which, you know, this being my 2nd pregnancy, I am taking care of my 2-year-old full-time. And during that time, she was still 1. She turned 2 in February. So honestly, she did really good. Again, something in them just knows when something's off. So, you know, when I just wasn't feeling good, she seemed very understanding, and she's like, okay, Mom, I'm just going to sit with you and hang out. And then Marty helped a lot. He understood that there were times in my day where I just had to sit down and rest and relax, and he took on a lot of the cooking and the cleaning and the helping out with her more. And you know, he's got a crazy work schedule, so for him to take that on top of all of that was a huge blessing. And then, you know what, and I couldn't do this video without expressing the joys of the 1st trimester and just the beauty in all of it. And I think it's so neat that when you're in your 1st trimester, unless you actually tell people, nobody knows that you're pregnant. Nobody knows that there's a little life just right inside of you, so small, so precious, so beautiful. And it's so just, you know, your child's there. There's a child inside of you, and there's a child that is so small, starts the size of a poppy seed is I think one of the very first size comparisons that they have, and the way they grow so rapidly in the first few weeks, they like double, triple in size just during that 1st trimester is so amazing, so beautiful. And again, unless I say something, nobody's gonna know. So that could almost be like a little secret that you have within yourself that you're pregnant. Obviously there's bloating, and people will catch on. I mean, people will be like, why are you sick? Why are you moody? Things like that especially other moms, and I learned this when I was pregnant with Abby, that anyone who has been a mom figured out that I was pregnant instantly just because of just the way I was acting as a whole and just not looking like I was feeling good. But aside from that, people really don't know. And then sharing the news, that's so much fun. I mean, with us, people knew we were trying. It wasn't a secret that we were wanting another baby. So by the time we told everybody, they already knew. But still being able to share the news of, hey, we've been trying and we've been successful and God has blessed us with this beautiful baby. And it was just so beautiful. And yeah, you know what? The symptoms, they are hard to get through. Especially that 1st trimester. I feel like that's like one of the biggest hurdles in pregnancy, is just trying to get through that 1st trimester of not feeling good. But the worse you feel, it's like the more confident you are that the baby's okay. And it's kind of like a twofold thing, where it's kind of like a double-edged sword, where it's like, I know I don't want to feel like this, but at the same time I know that because I feel like this, that my hormone levels are where they need to be, that the baby's thriving, that, you know, there's not a risk of anything bad happening. So yeah, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. It was rough, but here I am in my 3rd trimester, and we're just getting things ready for baby, but that's another video for another time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you for supporting this channel and clicking on this video. And if you are in your 1st trimester, you'll get through it. Believe me, it's hard, but you will get through it. And unfortunately, I don't have any physical, tangible things that I could say that I used to help me out. I just kind of got through it by getting through it. So And obviously with, you know, my husband helping me, those around me helping me, the grace of God getting me through it. So, yeah, I will see you in my next video. God bless, and bye guys.